It's dialing. In a couple seconds, you will see on air sign. It will be in upper left corner. It means people already there. And you can start to talk. You can start now.
Good evening, everyone. This is Councilmember Karen Tolles. I want to thank you for joining the call. We want to give a few more moments for more participants to join us. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great evening. We just want to give a few more moments for some more folks to join us. We have quite a few individuals on the line already. Just want to take a few more moments to let some more individuals join us in the call. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. How are you doing this evening? I just wanted to let you all know that I wanted to take this opportunity to have a virtual town hall meeting. I had a in-person meeting yesterday in Forestville, Maryland, just to talk about the budget and some of the great work that we have done collectively over the past 4 years. And so was not able to reach everyone there, obviously, so I wanted to have a town hall via the phone to let individuals know about some of the great things that I've done for you on your behalf as a county council member. And so, again, I just want to take another 2 seconds just to allow a few more individuals to join us, and then I will get started. Thank you, everyone. During this call, you will also be able to ask questions. This will be a discussion for you to ask some questions about some of the things that are important to you and the issues that are important to you. If you would like to be queued up to ask a question, please press 0 so that we can put you into the queue to be able to ask those questions. And we're also going to ask you a few poll questions to get your perspective on some issues that I've been working on for you, just to get a feel for what's important. At the end of May, the County Council passed a budget, and we were able to accomplish some great things together. For example, I was able to get additional funding to revitalize our communities around our metro stations. As you know, District 7 has 5 metro stations, and at the end of the budget, I was able to get over $1 million to acquire land around Naylor Road Metro Station. We will be acquiring land around Addison Road Metro Station to build a District 7 library, and the construction for that property will begin in FY 2016. That property that we're looking to build the District 7 library on was not in the budget at all. It was in the out years, fiscal year 20 and beyond. I was able to bring that closer in so that we can have a library for our students in the Capitol Heights and Sea Pleasant area, those students that attend Central High School and Suitland High School. And so I think that is an accomplishment that we can look forward to in the next couple years. Recently, we have also been able to acquire additional funding. I was able to do that to start the renovation at the end of this year of a new $5 million renovation center at Peppermill Community Center that has never been renovated and is completely outdated. So we will be breaking ground on that at the end of this year. Starting on Monday, William Beans Community Center will begin to get constructed. The trucks come in to start the demolition and to begin the work. And also around the areas of public safety, that's just around economic development. As you know, over the past 4 years, I've put in some legislation that has led to the dramatic reduction in crime around District 7 and in Prince George's County. Currently, I chair the Prince George's County Council's Budget and Fiscal Management, the Fiscal Public Safety and Fiscal Management Committee, and that committee has all of the public safety agencies as well as the entire budget for the county. And through that leadership, which I've been chairing for the past 2 years, representing you on the council, I've been able to just put in legislation that has regulations around our nightclub venues that is in an effort to keep our communities more safe. I've put in gun registry legislations for individuals who carry illegal guns and be able to be monitored by the police department. All of these efforts have led to the decrease in crime, and that hopefully will be able to lead us to the revitalization that we know we deserve in District 7. And so I want to take this opportunity again to ask you all to press 0 if you would like to ask a question. And so I will be talking, but also this will be an opportunity for you to ask any questions. And for those individuals that just joined the call, welcome to the virtual town hall meeting put on by Councilmember Karen Tolles, and I represent you. I am Councilmember Tolles. You're speaking to me live, and I represent you on the Prince George's County Council. And so if you just joined us, we ask that you press 0 if you would like to ask a question. Hello, Ms. Rosetta Lucas. How are you?
This is Charlie Lucas.
Hello, Mr. Lucas. How you doing?
Okay, I want to know what it is you all gonna do about old people retired and who got a house or something, and they on a fixed income, but tax keep on going up.
Okay, well, one of the things that I've been working on, I vice chair our Transportation, Housing, and Environment Committee, and as I go out and speak to my seniors all over District 7, one of the things that they have told me is that we need to do something about rent control in this county. And one of the things that I have done is begin to work with our state legislatures so that we can make sure that we put in rules in place on the state level that will give me the authority on the local level to be able to do something about the rent that's going up for our seniors year after year. I think that, landlords and those individuals that rent out our apartments that rent out to our seniors often go up year after year after year. And I believe it doesn't give our seniors an opportunity, to move out if they're not happy, because you have to give them a certain time limit in which you can move out. Also, it creates a situation, as you, sir, may be on a fixed income, you can't afford to keep having your rent go up. So I have worked with our state legislatures. Recently, the county council put in legislation to be able to have shorter leases for our seniors if they desire. But again, I will continue to fight on your behalf to make sure that more controls are in place. Hello, Ms. Johnson. How are you? Thank you for joining the call.
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm doing well, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Believe it or not, I have a simple question. I want to know, and by the way, Karen, I was a mall line dancer.
Oh yes, how
Hello?
you doing?
All right, and mom and them dancers. You know,
Yes.
'cause we've danced for you several times. Yeah.
Yes, and I came to
Okay.
your event over at Andrews.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and everything. We've danced for you several times. Okay.
I know, at my senior appreciation luncheon.
Oh, thank you. Well, anyway, what I was trying to tell you is that my only question is, I didn't get any mail. You know, one of the brochures that they mail out to you for all the candidates on it. Can I get you to see that I get one of those, so when I go in the voting booth, I can get in and out fast?
Yes, ma'am. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see
I
that.
already know you, so I don't need to worry about your name. I know you.
So that okay. Well, that means I have your vote.
That's right. You got Mom and them and Allison Long's vote in the bag.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson. I appreciate your continued support. I really love you all at the Iverson Mall. You're my favorites. You're my favorite seniors over there, Iverson.
All right, now. And you're one of our favorite candidates, too.
Thank you.
Can I get one of those brochures?
Yes, ma'am, you can. And so what I will do is make sure that you know my office. If you call us in the morning, we will make sure that we get a brochure over to you. Can I give you my office number?
Yes.
It's 30.
Okay, hold on. Wait, hold tight. Go ahead. Go ahead now. 3 what?
301.
Okay.
956.
956.
952.
Okay, go ahead.
952 36.
Wait a minute, 952, not 6.
No, 952.
Wait a minute, 301 95. Start over, Gabe.
Okay, we got 952 3690.
3690. Okay, 301 952 3690.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, how you doing, Ms. Cunningham? Thank you for joining the call.
Doing fine.
I'll take your question.
Let's see. Maybe I reverted now. I appreciate very much what you are doing, but my question is, do you come out to smaller groups? I'm at the Marlowe Towers condominium.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
We have a monthly meeting. One is Tuesday night for building rep.
Yes.
Yeah.
What time?
7 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there. Okay? And we will also, my constituent services person, Mr. Percy, has visited and worked on some issues with that community already. And so I'm quite knowledgeable about some of the issues and concerns that you all have over at Marlowe Towers. My office has been involved.
Okay, thank you. Thank Mr. Percy, too. He got some material for me a couple of years ago, I think.
Well, yes, he definitely... Oh, okay. Well, I will let him know you said hello and to thank him.
Okay, and thank you. I saw you last night. I'm not a good speaker. I need to be alert before.
That's okay. Thank you for calling and staying on the call with me.
Okay, thank you. I am a real natural, but very concerned, very helpful in the communities and around.
Thank you. We will take care of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, I want to take this opportunity to ask a question. I want to do a poll question for some of the callers. And I want to ask you, what issues are important to you? As I continue to fight for you, and with your support over the next, with your support, I will be here for another 4 years. And so I would like to hear what issues are important to you, so we can begin to focus on that. The first one is, what issues are important to you? Press 1 if it's public safety. Press 2 for health care. Press 3 for funding for education. Press 4 for economic development and jobs. And press 5 for ethics. Again, that's 1 for public safety, 2 for health care, 3 for funding for education, 4 for economic development and jobs, and 5 for ethics. All right. Thank you very much for answering that poll question. The majority of you has said public safety, and as you know, I chair our Public Safety and Fiscal Management Committee, and I have the great honor of working with some of the Prince George's County and the state of Maryland finest public safety officials, and so I know that I'm moving in the right direction on your behalf, and so I thank you for completing that question. Hello. Next up, we want to welcome, is this Mr. or Mrs. Cobb?
It's Mrs. Cobb.
How you doing, Mrs. Cobb? Thank you for joining the call.
Good. I'm doing good. I just wanted to know, why did they close the different little, like Glen Arden, Knights of Columbus, and different clubs for the people to go dance and have fun? Why did they? You had said that you had a bill out to shut them places down. Could you tell me why?
Yes, ma'am. The bill I have put in, it just created regulations to keep our community more safe. But if there are some unintended consequences like Glen Arden and Knights of Columbus, I will certainly look into that. That is not the intentions of the legislation. It's just to create regulations for venues that operate in the county. But I will certainly look into that deeper and, think about tweaking the legislation if it has some unintended consequences. But it just mainly put in to create safer parameters and more regulations for our residents.
Oh, okay, because I know my club used to have events at Glen Arden annually every year, and now we can't have it anymore.
Well, I apologize for that. Again, sometimes with legislation you have unintended consequences, but I guarantee you I will look into that over the course of the year to figure out how do we get rid of those unintended consequences.
Okay.
And I will also work with
you.
Thank you, and I will work with your town of Glen Arden as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great day, ma'am. I look forward to your support.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Senator Curry, how are you?
Hello.
Senator, my senator, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. I've sat here and listened to you for about 30 or 45 minutes, and I am tremendously impressed with not only you but the constituents who come on and ask you the questions and make the comments.
Thank you so much. We serve a great group of people, don't we, Senator?
We do.
Thank you.
And with your leadership and the leadership that you've provided since being on the county council, I believe not only our constituents have grown, but our community as well.
Thank you, Senator Curry, and I appreciate your support and your kind words. It's an honor to represent you on the county council. You and Mrs. Curry. Say hello to her as well for me. And I appreciate your kind words, and I'm glad that I'm making you proud of me.
In fact, Ms.
Yes, sir. You hung up?
Yes. He's going to take your call, Robin.
Hello, Miss Harris. How are you today?
Mr. Harris.
Mr. Harris, I apologize. How are you doing? You are a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, right?
So the day I die.
Okay.
Absolutely. Actually, it's Council Member Patterson and I, same chapter, Annapolis Alumni Chapter. And I've had the pleasure to meet you before, but first of all, I'd like to applaud your efforts here in our district, particularly off of the 23rd Parkway and getting on top of various issues, related to public safety and what have you. I'd like to thank you for, that round-the-clock effort that you put for a good fight. I'm fighting a good fight.
Thank you so much.
My question particularly is it's a comment then a question. Several of us, had I'd say we have the choice of living elsewhere if we like. So we're not here because, we could live somewhere else, like move further down into the county or what have you. But I chose to be here as a young professional. I'm more interested in economic development in terms of coming up Branch Avenue. It had gotten to be frustrating to see liquor store after liquor store after liquor store and all that riffraff, all those riffraff establishments right there at the Nail Road corridor. So I'd like to applaud you for knocking down those eyesores, but I'd like to hear what is the plan for bringing something, progressive. When you get off of the transportation system, maybe you can go sit down and eat or do a little light shopping on the way home, and particularly the shopping center here where the Evergreen store was at 23rd Park and Iverson Street.
Yes, sir. Thank you. First, let me thank you for your accolades that you have given me. We are all in this together. As you know, I'm a District 7 resident, born and raised here, and have the great opportunity to represent the same community in which I represent, in which I grew up. And Senator Curry was one of my teachers in school, and so I'm very familiar with the community. So let me tell you, every day I fight to make sure that our metro stations get the development that they deserve. I worked on the Southern Green Line plan, which in that plan I put in an overlay zone to say that we are no longer going to allow liquor stores. We're no longer going to allow just every nail shop on the corner. We're going to be more strict about what we allow to have in this quarter, in this neighborhood, because we deserve to have the very best. That's why I put that district overlay zone over top of the Southern Green Line, which includes Naylor Road and Southern Avenue. That's extremely important for revitalization. Some of the regulations that I put in also within the budget was to say that there are laws that I put into place to say that if you want to allow your business, if you have this type of business, you need to come back to the county council for approval. And I don't know if you heard one of the very first comments I said was that in the budget, I put in $1 million to spur economic development and revitalization around our metro station. So over the next 4 years, I'm confident that we are heading in the right direction. I have people coming to me all the time about the opportunities that they want to do around 23rd Parkway and around Naylor Road. Also with 23rd Parkway, we're going to be, I think that a new grocery store, Save-A-Lot, is coming over there. So they're beginning to put that there on 23rd Parkway as well. So we are making some great strides, and it's because of the policies that I put in place in my 4 years to say that we are no longer going to allow anything to come into our community. We're going to bring it back to the days it was 20 and 30 years ago. So thank you. I would like to ask my second poll question. And again, I want to take these questions I'm asking so that I am making sure I'm moving in the right direction on your behalf. And the next question is, which best reflects your attitude about funding for your jurisdiction? Again, what best reflects your attitude about funding for your jurisdiction? Number one, I have seen some economic development and growth in my community. Number two, I feel good about investments in the police and fire department. Number three, my district is well funded. And number four, I don't know how funding works in my district. Again, which best reflects your attitude about funding for your jurisdiction in District 7? Press number 1 for I have seen some economic development and growth in my community. Press number 2, I feel good about investments in the police force and fire department. Press 3, my district is well funded. Press 4, I don't know how funding works in my district. Thank you very much for answering those questions. Okay. I want to ask another question before we take a couple more calls. The next question is, what is the best way to communicate with you? The next question, what is the best way to communicate with you? Press 1 for mail, a mailer, print newsletter. Press number 2 for email blast and e-newsletter. Press number 3 for social media. Press number 4 for in-person town hall community meetings. Press 5 for virtual town halls like this. Again, number 1 for mail. We affectionately call that snail mail. Press number 2 for email. Press number 3 for social media. Press number 4, in-person town halls. Press number 5 for phone call, virtual town halls like this. I thank you all so much for answering that question. And I'm now going to take some more questions. And we have Mr. Grant. How can I help you today? Thank you for joining the call, sir.
Well, thank you very much for having this forum. I really appreciate it. I'll be brief as possible. The reason I'm calling is I'm very concerned. I do a lot of travel along the East Coast in the country, and I've been in the area for 40-plus years. And one of the concerns I have, especially with Hillcrest Heights Shopping Center, you already mentioned that would be a food store coming in, but at one time there was a food store and a bank there. There's no longer neither is there now. And I'm also concerned about basically the lack of economic diversity. If I want to go to spend my money at stores that are nationally advertised, generally I have to go to either central Prince George's County, northern Prince George's County, southern Maryland near the Charles County line, or across the bridge in Northern Virginia. There's a lack of stores like Target, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, and others in the area. And I remember this area 40 years ago. This area was vibrant and built up like Waldorf is now. And I think without having that economic mix or diversity, number one, young people won't have the opportunity to work locally in this area. And number two, there are stores that we can patronize here, but the majority are outside the area, which means we're taking our money and spending it in another either area of Prince George's County or North Virginia or Charles County or some other county. And I'd just like to know what kind of plans how can I assist you in helping you develop having more diversity for as establishments right here in the Hillcrest Heights, Temple Hills area?
Sure. I think that's a great question. And over the past 4 years since I've been representing you on the county council, my main mission is to improve the safety of the community so that we can become more viable for economic development. As I was going around 4 or 5 years ago campaigning, and one of the concerns that the development community had was safety of our community. And as you know, the crime has gone down. We still have work to do, yes, but our crime numbers have gone down to 30 and 40%, which makes us more viable for economic development. There is no greater community than District 7 that is overdue for that because of our 5 metro stations, because of our close proximity to the nation's capital. And so, as I was mentioning before, and you're right, economic diversity is something that we truly need in District 7, and I've been fighting for that over the past 4 years. As I mentioned to the previous caller, is that I put in strict regulations around the zoning uses that we can allow in our communities. I used to go to Woodworth and Lothrop, ask my daddy for the credit card to go over to Iverson Mall and do some shopping. We had great stores over there, you're right. And so we need to come back to the days where we can have those type of shopping amenities that you once had when you moved into that community 40 years ago. And so that economic diversity is something I've been fighting for. And as you see that the crime numbers have gone down, as I said before, I'm getting more and more calls with developers that are wanting to have a conversation about some of the stores that we see in other parts of the region come to Prince George's County and District 7. And lastly, I will say I represent you on a regional board as well as the national level, and I sit on the Community Economic Development Steering Committee for the national county, a national organization for county elected leaders. And so I represent you regionally and nationally, and I have these conversations to make sure that I begin to bring this type of economic diversity to District 7. So thank you for that question. Okay. Ms. Lett, how you doing?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss. I'm sorry. Is this Miss Johnson?
This is Mr. Johnson. This is
Mr. Johnson. How you doing, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson? Thank you.
All righty. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. Our question is that I've been hearing about the situation with the schooling and stuff, and I'm kind of concerned about, because of the situation, the last situation with about the shootings and stuff going on in school. How will you address that situation to protect our students and protect my child considerably, being she's in a public school setting, and also to make sure that every faculty, including parents, are notified if a situation occurs?
Yes, thank you for that question. Let me tell you, I am deeply troubled by not just the shooting that recently happened, but the shootings that are occurring throughout our schools and universities in this country. That's why 2 years ago I put in a bill of gun registry legislation to make sure that individuals that get caught carrying guns without a permit will be subjected to check in with the police department twice a year for 3 years if they're caught with it and they did not commit a crime. But if they committed a crime, they have to serve their time and check in for 5 years. Additionally, I've been working on mental health issues. I am deeply troubled about the violence in our schools, and all of my colleagues are. And one of the things that I have done is to work with our school system to make sure that we now have buzzers in the school. We now have there is security in our schools. Also, again, as you know, I chair a public safety and fiscal management committee, and we have put police officers in every single high school in the county. We also have police officers and sheriff deputies in our middle schools in Prince George's County, and particularly all of them, elementary through high school, they should have a buzzer where you have to be buzzed in by the security, by the front desk of the school, and you have to check in and show your ID. Even as a council member, when I am the guest speaker, I am asked to sign in. I am given a badge before I can walk around the school. Some of our schools are not doing this the way they should, I admit. However, we have stressed to them that we are now making sure that nobody can walk through the school without checking in with your ID. And all of the schools by the beginning of this school year should have buzzers at the school where they have to be buzzed in. So thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi, Miss Led. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just want to recommend you on all the great things you are doing. But what I would like to see is something done with young people that could give them some kind of order. And I'm going to work with my daughter and my grandson. We want to do something like on the streets that maybe they can do a little dance and then sit and talk about things that they would like to see done. A little dance, and they need to have some kind of recreation where they can begin to actually acquaint themselves with each other, so it won't be so much hostility out there.
I completely agree. And so let me just say, I will continue to keep Mr. Led in my prayers. And also, I wanted to let you know that the Marlow Heights Community Center will be going under construction very soon, and with that, they're going to have a brand new dance studio in the Marlow Heights Community Center. They're going to have amenities that's really geared toward our young people in the Marlow Heights and Temple Hills community. And with that, as you know, I've worked with the Temple Hills community so that we can have various programs for our youth. One program I worked with Benjamin Starter on is a girls' conference where we had a girls' conference and we worked with our young girls in 8th grade, preparing them for high school, and we had about 300 girls at that girls' conference, and I put that on last year so that we can begin to prepare and give our young girls the tools they need to succeed in high school where there's a lot of peer pressure. And so there are a number of activities that are going on within your community, and I know that you know how to reach me, but let's continue to stay in conversation so that you can know when those events are happening and you can bring your grandchildren to them. Thank you. How you doing, Mr. Presley?
Yeah, how you doing? I have one question. I'm on a fixed income. I live in Sea Pleasant. And being that living in Sea Pleasant, we have a township. We're being taxed on that. Also, we're being in PG County. We're paying, the highest tax rate along with Montgomery County in the state. And still at that, even though our property value is going down, but yet our taxes keep going up. Is there anything that you have or that you're planning to do about senior citizens on fixed income that own property still paying these outrageous property taxes that's going up every year? And really, when you're in an area like Sea Pleasant, which is one of the lower income areas in PG County, it's getting to be unaffordable for people that's on fixed income.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your question, sir. And so you live in the city of Sea Pleasant, and you might pay an additional tax because you live within the city as well as the county taxes. And so I'm hearing this story over and over again about how the taxes are going up. And so as the property values go back up in the county, you will find that the taxes go up. I have been working with the county executive's office and our state leaders to look at how we can get some type of rent control for our seniors in the community. As you know, recently the county went to allowing the residents to pay their taxes on a quarterly, so you can pay 4 times a year. You can pay, a portion of your taxes over the course of the year as long as it's paid up at, everything is paid up at the due date. So we are putting parameters in place, and so I will continue to explore that avenue, but I will need my partners in the state to help me.
Hello.
Yes, how you doing, Miss Jones? How are you?
Yes, good afternoon, and it's nice to hear your voice. Ms. Toll.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. When the Obamacare package came into Maryland, it did not do a lot for seniors, anybody past 65. Also, at that same time, I found out, since I'm a retiree from Pepco, that the insurance, I had no choices in making insurance because we were all quoted by zip codes. We had to get insurance that applied within the zip code system. And mine was only 20748. And that made the insurance really high, and it was very confusing. At 74, a lot of us, in general, do not feel like going over a lot of papers or having businessmen and different companies switching back and forth, which they do, of course, normally every day. I would like to know, I tried to get help and seek a lot of advice from the Social Services Department and Medicare, and I really am confused because I'm afraid I won't have enough to go around for the next.
So, Ms. Jones, I apologize for interrupting you. Please forgive me, ma'am. I want to give you my phone number so that I can get more information for you and connect you with our member of Congress. And okay. With the Medicare issue, she can truly assist me with getting the appropriate information and assistance for you. So can I give you my office number so that you can call my office and give us that information?
Okay. Is it 301-952-3693?
3690.
Okay, 3690. Okay, Karen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and the only other question was, in the 23rd, you were talking about environmentally. I noticed that after an earthquake 3 or 4 years ago, I never saw anyone come out and check these hills down at the bottom of 19th Street and 23rd Park. I think it's the Parkway. And when I looked at a little bridge that you come up, Iverson Place, I noticed over into the wooded area that there was distances and trees falling, but I never seen an environmentalist come out and check because it just looked different to me after the house shook, and all the houses shook a little that particular year. So environmentally, I thought it was something to think about. And since you were on the phone being so kind as to answer a lot of questions, maybe it's something you can think about and talk to somebody about.
Yes, Ms. Jones, I will certainly take this information down and have our Department of Environmental Resources come in and be able to take a look at their property. Thank you. I'm going to ask another poll question. I want to ask, how do you feel about public safety and about public safety patrols in District 7? Hit 1 if it's wonderful and you feel completely safe. Number 2, it has improved. Number 3, it is adequate. Number 4, it is insufficient. Again, how do you feel about public safety and patrols in District 7? Type number 1 if you think it's wonderful and you feel completely safe. Number 2, it has improved. Number 3, it is adequate. Number 4, it is insufficient. Thank you. Okay, thank you for that question. Thank you for your answers. Okay, to the next question, to Ms. Hall. How can I help you? Thank you for joining the call.
Hi. I was concerned, or really piggybacking on what was said earlier, as far as creating or bringing some upscale businesses into our area, Temple Hills, Marlow Heights, Iverson Mall area. And you did address it to a certain degree. I want to know just how feasible that is for upscale businesses.
Right. Well, one of the things when you say upscale, we deserve to have the very best in District 7 in Prince George's County. And one of the things I had to do over the 4 years was to focus on creating safer communities. Once we created safer communities, it gave us the opportunity to become more viable for economic development. And zoning and putting laws in place take a little bit of time to measure the success of them. And what I've seen at the end of my first term is that we're starting to see our community turn around. And oftentimes we need that measure so that the development community can come in and look at our area to begin development. And one thing I failed to mention is that I put in the very first TIF district over Siouxland and Naylor Road. This is the largest TIF district that you've seen in county history, and that TIF district covers from the Siouxland Metro Station all the way down to the Naylor Road Metro Station. And why did I do that? I did that because the county had already spent a great deal of money prior to me being in office to develop Siouxland, but also to develop Naylor Road. And those are connecting, and they are connected by Siouxland Parkway. So because there is a connection between the Siouxland Parkway, between the two metro stations, you can create the economic development viability for both those areas. And a TIF is a tax increment financing, and that means we put an opportunity for incentives to come in to be over the Naylor Road Metro Station to make us more attractive for development. So it's going to be very viable. I put in safety mechanisms. I put in and economic development tools in place so that we can begin to have the development that we would like to see in Prince George's County, and most importantly in District 7. And I've also been working with my neighbors in D.C. so that we can have consistent development between both jurisdictions. So thank you. You will see it happening soon.
Hello?
Hi, Ms. Pretlow. How are you today, ma'am? Thank you for joining the call.
No, this is Ms. Dandridge.
I'm sorry, Ms. Dandridge. How are you?
Good, and you? I've been listening.
I apologize.
It's fine. I've been listening for about 45 minutes, and everything sounds good. I live in Capitol Heights in a very high crime area. I constantly stay on the phone with Prince George's County Police and the narcotic unit because in any enforcement that we can get over here, it's the last week it's been a lot of shootings in this area. I'm one of the ones that's constantly being on the phone calling about trees and debris and a lot of other things in this area. I even called your office several times, but I never had anyone to call back. And I'm glad to be on the phone with you. Maybe I can get somewhere as far as being on the phone because everything I've been listening to has been positive. But in this area that I live in, we need more presence of Prince George's County Police because it's not getting better, it's getting worse.
Okay, let me just say to you, Ms. Dandridge, I sincerely apologize that you called my office and you didn't get the response you needed. And so I would like for you to call my office tomorrow morning and speak with Davion Percy. He is my constituent services liaison. I'm going to have him make sure that I'm going to tell him to expect your call and to begin to work with you on this issue in your community. I am strongly against anyone living in a community where they feel like that someone else is taking over their community where they don't feel safe. And so, Ms. Dandridge, if you can call my office tomorrow and ask for Davion Percy, I'm going to let him know tonight that he should expect your call. Do you have that number?
No, 952-4131.
No, it's 952. 3690.
Yes, I do have that number. I have it. Just like I said, I called before, but I didn't get a response, and I'm constantly staying on the phone with the county, police, and whoever else I could speak with about these issues that's going on in this area, and something really needs to be done.
I will take care of it. Just call my office, and I'm gonna have my staff meet with you as well as the commander for that area that you live in Capitol Heights. I will take care of it. Call me tomorrow so I can get all your information and be able to set that meeting up with you and with my office and myself and with the police department. And again, I apologize for what you've been going through. You're welcome. I will call my office tomorrow. Davion Percy.
Hello,
Hi, how you doing, Ms. Felton?
How are you? Look,
I'm doing well.
I want to compliment you all of your accomplishments that you have provided and been so successful at. But I got something that's really annoying me. It's two things. Number one, I saw some years ago how a senior citizen was put out of his apartment, and they didn't investigate, and they found the check underneath the rug of the the realtor's office, in the apartment complex. They found it underneath the rug, and they had put this poor man out, and he told them that he had paid his money. And I felt that was really bad for a senior to have to go through this aggravation. Another thing about the aggravation seniors have to go through. Now, we are with Allstate, but do you know Allstate went up on us 3 times last year on our mortgage insurance, and I thought that was wrong, and I still think it's wrong for them to go 3 times, and we are almost paying $2,000, and I feel that is very bad. And something should be put in place to keep them from thinking that they can use seniors and misuse them and manipulate them and do these types of things to senior citizens. And another thing, the crime that's in the community, we need to get a hold of that over this area too. We've had people held hostage. We have had people shot. Some of the drug thing is bad, and they're having renters, and they don't want to seem like to hold on to the property to make sure a homeowner buys it. That's something else that's going on. So we're having a lot of issues, and then we have traffic coming through, people coming through our neighborhood because they won't fix the fence, and they have all this traffic coming through. And we need to get some handle of this. And our homeowners person is Carson's Properties. Right. It seems like they don't even listen to us when we talk.
Okay, well, one of the things I do, did you hear me on the call? I will give my office number again, and that is 301-952-3690. My constituent services person, Davion Percy, I will let him know that we're going to have a couple of the residents call with their concerns because we want to get the exact location of your fence, and I don't want you to share it over the phone, but I would like for you to call him in the morning to be able to share that information with him. In terms of your rent going up, in terms of the cost of your insurance going up, I will work with our state legislators to see what we can do to put policies in place, tools in place, to put a control over that, to eradicate that increase in those rates, or at least, do something to control them. But that is a state of Maryland function, and so we have to work with our state delegates and senators, our state legislature, to put some controls in place for that. But I thank you for your call. And we will begin to work on your issues. And so just call my office to get with so that we can get more specific details about where you live. And I want to say to the rest of the call, the folks that are listening, we have about 6 minutes left, and we're going to ask a few more questions as well. Take a few more questions, but we have about 6 minutes left. And I just want to thank you very much because you have been a great audience, but just stay on the call and bear with us. We only have 6 minutes left, so I just ask that you stay on the call for me. Okay, I'll take Ms. Roundtree.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much for your patience, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. My question basically is, I'm 59 years old. I'm not a senior citizen at all, but I haven't worked in over a year, and I've worked over 40 years of my life paying taxes, and I'm not understanding why all this time now that I need the unemployment benefits and I can't get them. The extension is off. They say they're leaving it to the states to basically see about giving out that. And I'm also a person that does the election judge thing every election year, to get all the information on people that's, trying to get votes and all that. And I'm an election judge, and I kind of like stir people in the right direction as far as people to vote for. And my second question is, how do you get grants for education, continuing you for older people like me? Well, I'm not older, I'm better.
Hi, I want you to know that the issue with the unemployment, we're going to work with our congressional representative. Again, I would like for you to call me so that I can get more specific information. If you're having problems with getting unemployment benefits, I would have to work with our congressional representative to do that. And also with grants for continuing education, the community college has a program for seniors. I'm not sure at what age it starts, if it starts at 55 or 60, but there is it's called the SAGE program at the community college, where we work with our seniors to allow them to take court classes for free. And so I would like for you to call my office, Ms. Roundtree, so we can get you that information as well. So thank you. Mr. Casey, thank you very much. How are you doing today?
Miss Casey.
I apologize. Miss Casey?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Thank you for taking my call. My question to you is, my statement first is, there are a lot of abandoned houses in the Capitol Heights area where I reside, and the houses cause a lot of vandalism, and it's a lot of eyesores because they're not being kept up and taken care of. And I wanted to know, do you have any programs that can be put together or that are already in place for maybe low-income individuals, or like for teachers like myself that could utilize some of these houses and purchase them, to help increase the look and the upkeep of the neighborhood?
Yes, thank you for that question. That's a magnificent question. And one of the things that I've been doing over the past 4 years at the county is really putting, again, mechanisms in place. The county council's main responsibility is to do the budget and to do zoning and land use and also policy. So we set the policy for Prince George's County. We set the laws. And one of the things that I have been doing is working with our housing agency so that we can begin to look at blight in our community, because if you have abandoned homes, it has a negative impact on those homeowners that are in our community where their homes are not abandoned, but you have people that live there. If you live next door to someone, that can be problematic for you. And so one of the things that we are doing is with housing, we are working with nonprofits like the United Communities Against Poverty. Our redevelopment authority is working with them to give them grants to redo the homes and then sell them back to a homeowner, like teachers and policemen. So we already have programs like that in place. If you would like more information, then please feel free to call my county office. Thank you. Okay, this is my last call. And again, if I miss anyone, please call my office, 301-952-3690 for questions, or you can call the number, call them tomorrow morning. Thank you. And Miss Dorothy Chambers.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Dorothy Chambers. I appreciate everything that you have done for the senior in Sutton, Maryland, for removing that dirt at the Census Bureau, just everything you have done for us, because you have done a good job for Sutton. And my whole family and friend, everybody's going to vote for you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Chambers. I appreciate that. I'm your neighbor in Suitland, and we are going to continue to do great things together over the next 4 years. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Please remember to vote for me on June 24th. You can also vote early on starting tomorrow, June 12th through June 19th. And the locations that are in close proximity to District 7 is if you live in the Temple Hills community, you can vote at either Suitland Community Center or you can vote at the Science Tech Center in Oxon Hill. And if you live in the Central Park, Sea Pleasant, and Capitol Heights, you can vote at Sports and Learning Center. Thank you so much for your support, and I appreciate all that you continue to do. Thank you. Remember to vote Karen Tolles, and have a blessed evening.